Now on KGW, honoring some of Oregon's best athletes.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
From legendary voices.
I want them to leave a broadcast saying they enjoyed it.
To Olympic stars.
I mean, to be a pro athlete, I think that's a lot of kids' dreams. That certainly was my dream as a kid.
And those who kept competing even after life-changing injuries.
From then on, my whole commitment was to the sport of wheelchair basketball.
Meet the new inductees to the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame. What is good, everyone? Thanks for joining us on this special edition of KGW Sports. My name is Orlando, and I had the honor of hosting the Oregon Sports Awards this year at the Patricia Research Center for the Arts in Beaverton. The ceremony recognizes the achievements of some of the state's best athletes and contributors, past and present. 5 inductees were added to the Hall of Fame this year. Some are names you know, others have fascinating stories you're about to learn. We start with the Portland-grown Olympic star, who's one of the best distance runners in U.S. history. Our Tim Gordon caught up with Galen Rupp at his high school training track as he pushes for one last Olympic run.
Well, yeah, you guys asked for some stuff, so I had to go through a memory lane and going through a bunch of boxes in my attic, but yeah.
Galen Rupp showing off.
These are the shoes I wore in Rio.
Some meaningful memorabilia from his legendary running career.
I think these are the spikes I wore in the Olympics in London.
And Galen Rupp into the home stretch.
I like that. Apparently I wrote my name on the inside of them.
He did it with the humility that has kept him on track.
These are some shoes I had at Oregon.
As the premier U.S. distance runner of his generation.
Yeah.
The homegrown Oregonian is a competitor, a 4-time Olympian.
There's a silver medal.
With 2 Olympic medals to prove it.
Yep, there's bronze in the marathon.
As a kid, Rupp loved soccer, but running was in the family.
My earliest running memories were running Mount Tabor Park with my mom. We'd run around the reservoir. She'd have me run stairs a lot. We had a bunch of hills that she did repeats on, and so that's where I got my start, and carried it on through Central Catholic, University of Oregon, and Nike.
We met Rupp at Dunaway Track in southwest Portland.
So this is my old stomping grounds. I used to come here every week in high school, and we'd do intervals on the track here at Dunaway. We'd run up to Terwilliger Boulevard. That was the hill.
Rupp made the varsity soccer team at Central Catholic as a freshman, but quickly caught the attention of cross-country coach Alberto Salazar, who would become his mentor.
I remember sophomore year, Alberto sitting me down and saying, you can be one of the best in the world someday. And, you believe that, but it is really daunting.
Rupp has been up to the challenge all along, setting records while winning state titles in cross country and 3 individual championships in track and field in high school.
It's a really special brotherhood, the teammates that you have running cross country, and to bring home the state title as a team still stands out for me.
From there, Rupp could have gone anywhere. But the best choice became the obvious one, running for the home team.
Being from Oregon, knowing about Bill Bowerman, Steve Prefontaine, Rudy Chapa, Alberto Salazar, just a tremendous running legacy. That was my dream, was to go to the U of O and run there.
It came together in a record-setting way at the University of Oregon. Galen Rupp, the first person ever to win 6 NCAA distance races in the same calendar year, leading Oregon to back-to-back NCAA cross-country team championships in 2007 and 8, and the men's indoor team title in 2009.
Congratulations. What were the expectations?
We just, coaches just all day telling us have fun, make sure that you just enjoy this.
Joining Steve Prefontaine and Alberto Salazar as an NCAA cross-country champion.
Now has the individual NCAA championship.
A school record 14-time All-American. Rupp also got a chance to represent Team USA on the biggest stage.
To be a pro athlete, I think that's a lot of kids' dreams. That certainly was my dream as a kid.
Galen Rupp's going to make the team.
Rupp made 4 Olympics, 2008, 12, 16, and 21, turning it on in 2012 to come in right behind his Nike teammate.
To the finish, Mo Farah and Galen Rupp, 1-2.
Earning the silver in the 10,000 in London. In Rio in 2016,
to take the bronze medal at the Olympic marathon in only his second marathon, his first.
a bronze medal marathon run, a huge accomplishment Rupp says took every ounce of his focus. And in between, a personal best U.S. record-setting 10,000-meter run at the Prefontaine Classic in 2014.
To have that opportunity to be in the right race at Hayward Field in front of my home fans, that's something that is still to this day one of the most special races that I've been a part of.
Fast forward to today with plenty of running and races along the way. Rupp is not done as he enters the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
Hopefully I have a few more things out of that box in a couple of years.
Now strictly a marathon man with his eye on the 2028 Olympics. In an inherently individual, some may say selfish sport, Galen Rupp's never seen it that way.
I always looked at it when I stepped on the starting line that I was representing my coaches, all my trainers, my wife, my family, my mom, my parents, my grandparents, every single one of those people. I felt their energy and their love and support, and that truly was a really driving force whenever I told the line to go race.
So incredible. Congratulations to Galen and the entire Rupp family. And it's not just individual athletes in the Hall of Fame. This year, the 2015 Portland Timbers championship team was inducted. I took a trip down memory lane with the team that brought Portland its first professional title since 1977. Let it rain, let it pour.
The city was really living up to the soccer city name.
Thousands flooding the streets of downtown Portland.
There's a sea of green and gold out there.
A celebration frozen in time.
To have those moments, it almost brings, a tear to your eye, because it's like, you don't get a lot of those.
That drive down Broadway wasn't easy.
In the middle of the season, we were out of the playoff standing.
We said, are we built for it, or do we just want to go home?
We said, okay, let's relax. Maybe we are forcing things, rushing things, right? And that was key. That was key. We made some adjustments, right, tactically.
The turning point, a 5-2 road win over the Galaxy.
You could feel the energy every single day, walking onto the pitch. Everyone was dialed in.
One match lives on forever.
Man, that night was a roller coaster of emotions.
A knockout round classic against Sporting Kansas City.
I've never experienced anything like that in my entire career.
Setting the stage for an iconic moment.
And it came off both posts and came out. Are you kidding? Unbelievable.
The post was, and special for the supporters.
That moment is where you believe in magic in soccer.
The stuff of legend.
You kind of have everything to win as a goalkeeper when you're in a penalty shootout, because people don't expect you to save a lot of penalties. But when you have to step up and take a penalty, all of a sudden you have everything to lose.
Borisay, yes! It's out of a movie.
A team of destiny.
Borisay saves it! And it's over!
Vancouver, then Dallas.
It was like we were absolutely unstoppable.
In the last one was in a very different...
Punching the ticket to the MLS Cup final.
And Diego Valeri is handed a gift. What a dream start for the Timbers.
Just 27 seconds into the match, Columbus stunned.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
They were shell-shocked from that. They're just shell-shocked. We could feel it.
In comes the cross. Wallace is there. It is 2 for the Timbers.
Just 2 uppercuts right back to back. Just like bam, bam.
They're the heroes and then they're the villains, and my mentality was more like, I'm the bad guy, and that's okay. Like, somebody has to do it. No worries, I'll do it.
Mission complete. Timbers 2, Columbus 1.
I think we play a perfect game.
It's a first for the Timbers. A first for the Pacific Northwest.
holy cow, it's just a tidal wave of emotion and excitement.
Moments like this that's what makes us dream as kids, I think.
From dreams to reality, closing out the season riding a 9-match unbeaten streak. Portland's first major pro sports title since '77.
Getting off the plane and seeing the airport packed, I mean, it really defines what the city is about, and it's a sports town.
Etched in history.
In these sports, you lose more than what you win. But when you win and you have those moments, it's for the whole life.
Reunited a decade later, where it all began, in Soccer City, USA. From MLS Cup champions to the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
The very first day we had training here at Providence Park, and Merritt comes and gives a speech. If you're the first team to win a championship, the city will remember you forever. And sure did.
An unforgettable run in Portland sports history. Our next inductee went from the high school basketball court in Tigard to the University of Tennessee, where she won 3 national titles. Catherine Cook met up with Lori Milligan in her high school gym to reflect on her incredible career.
Oh, yeah. It's been 31 years since Lori Milligan Vizzini stepped onto this floor.
Pretty cool.
To compete.
Does it feel like 30 years? Yes, it does.
Tigard High School, class of 1994. A few things have changed since then.
Different floor and different logos and much younger players.
And the obvious.
Wrong sport, too.
Basketball.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Is Milligan's game.
You know, they still wear this jersey.
And boy, could she play it.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
The point guard's number 22 jersey hangs outside the gym now.
Yeah.
An ode to her stellar high school career, including 4 trips to the state tournament. As a senior, Milligan averaged 17 points a game and was named Class 4A Player of the Year. Her talent and work ethic attracted 120 Division I schools, all vying to recruit her. In the end, just one team, one coach, won her over. Pat Summitt and the University of Tennessee.
The reason why I went to Tennessee is not because I'd be a starter, it's because I'd be the worst player on the team. I knew Pat said, I'm not going to promise you a starting position. You have to earn everything that you get.
Comes up with the errant pass.
And in a constellation of star players,
Nice pass. Good pass for Milligan.
To be honest with you, I just happened to be on the right team at the right time.
That's one that's going to go in the highlight film for Tennessee this year.
Milligan shone in her own right. Her freshman year, the Lady Vols advanced to the national championship game, but lost to UConn.
Time runs out. Connecticut has won the national championship.
It was devastating, but the thing that Pat Summitt said, she said, you know what, feel the weight of this loss. Feel the weight of it. Let it sink in. And then tomorrow, let's get back to work.
Well, if that's number 2 in the country.
And work they did. 3 more seasons led to 3 national titles in a row.
Tennessee has won the national championship.
A first for women's basketball and a feat matched only 2 more times since then. Her senior year, Milligan became the first college basketball player ever to play in 4 national championship games in a season soured by knee injury.
I played 9 games that season, but at the end of the game with 3.7 seconds left in the game, she put me in. So I was able to have played which was pretty awesome, you know? I mean, for my coach, for Pat Summitt to actually, I know. I think every time I think about it, I'm like, you didn't have to do that, but you did.
Milligan, who goes to the right, that's a nice spin move.
They are the moments, the examples, the wins and losses that have always shaped Milligan's life as a player, mentor, mom, and real estate broker.
Yeah, sports teaches so much more than just the game itself. It teaches tenacity, getting kicked down and getting back up.
Something she learned first from her big sister, Carrie.
Her bracket is up there.
Her team won a state basketball championship in 1988.
I'm grateful for my sister. She showed me what it looked like to play at a higher level.
That banner hangs near these girls' state soccer championship banners. Milligan played on the teams that won those. Are we surprised?
At Tigard High School.
No, we're not.
I'm humbled is all I can say.
Welcome to the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame.
A winner through and through. Next, she grew up with a love of sports, a love that had to be redefined after a tragic accident. Meet our next Hall of Fame inductee when we come back. Welcome back to this KGW Sports Special. We're taking a look at this year's inductees into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame. That includes Paralympian Susie Grimes, who overcame an accident that left her paralyzed to become one of the best wheelchair basketball athletes. John Adams caught up with her at her home outside Eugene.
From a young age, Susie Grimes felt a strong connection to competitive sports.
I played sports, every sport in high school that I could. I was voted most athletic girl in my high school.
The Southwest Ohio native moved to the Pacific Northwest at the age of 19 and played on the freshman basketball team at the University of Oregon.
I just loved the camaraderie of team sports, and I loved how I felt playing sports.
Grimes later became a forest worker, where a tragic accident changed her life forever. Grimes was working on a 200-foot tree when she fell while rappelling down.
And I rigged my rope to rappel down, and I fell 70 feet and landed on my feet. I sustained severe orthopedic fractures and paralysis.
Grimes spent 2 years recovering from the accident and felt like a part of herself had been taken away. But that all changed when a friend invited her to play wheelchair basketball.
And that changed my life, because then I could play sports again. And from then on, my whole commitment was to the sport of wheelchair basketball.
With a new outlet to take part in competitive sports, Grimes moved to San Francisco to train with some of the best wheelchair basketball players in the world. She made her first U.S. national team in 1986.
Susie Grimes with a basket.
2 years later, she was a starter for the U.S. wheelchair basketball team at the Paralympic Games in Seoul, South Korea.
This is the gold medal from the 1988 Paralympics.
The USA has won.
Grimes propelled the U.S. to a 38-31 victory over West Germany in the gold medal game. 4 years later, Grimes and the U.S. team took home silver in Barcelona. She retired as a player in 1998 at the age of 45 and would embark on a second act as a coach, which allowed her to travel the globe, sharing the benefits of wheelchair sports with people around the world.
As hooked as I was on competition, I was hooked on spreading the word and doing anything I could to promote wheelchair sports internationally.
Come on, horses! Grimes now spends her time riding and caring for horses on her farm outside of Eugene. Her induction into the Oregon Sports Hall of Fame has allowed her to reflect on how far women's and disability sports have come over the last half century.
Girls didn't really have much access to these kinds of dreams. And nowadays we do. And I think that shows how much society's grown and changed.
She calls her induction an honor.
I'm really, really touched by being selected to this induction. It's a big honor, and I appreciate it.
An incredible and inspirational story, no doubt. In addition to the Hall of Fame inductees at this year's awards ceremony, we also recognized 9 athletes and coaches of the year. College athletes of the year went to Oregon State gymnast Jade Carey, Lewis and Clark swimmer Ezra Billings, former Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel, and Southern Oregon University track and field star Abby Stevens. Oregon football coach Dan Lanning and Oregon softball coach Melissa Lombardi were named Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year. Pro Athlete of the Year went to Stephen Kwan, the Cleveland Guardians left fielder who played for Oregon State. And Jazzy Davidson and Josiah Tostenson were named High School Athletes of the Year.
They needed a play-by-play person. We're going to take the broadcast in-house. You can help us. Will you do it? And I was like, how soon can I be there?
And that was the start of a legendary career. When we come back, Jerry Allen on how he solidified his spot as the voice of the Ducks for more than 3 decades. The final award winner, not an athlete, but he still made an immense contribution to Oregon sports. The voice of the Oregon Ducks, Jerry Allen, earned the Bill Schonely Lifetime Achievement Award. Art Edwards found out what the honor means to him.
Kenny Wayne is going to score! Oregon is going to the Final Four!
It's a voice that's easy to recognize.
And fans everywhere, 114 years they've waited, and Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
It's been that way since 1987, when he got a call about doing play-by-play.
They needed a play-by-play person. We're going to take the broadcast in-house. You can help us. Will you do it? And I was like, how soon can I be there? So that's how that all came together, and it was a dream come true.
Intercepted! Intercepted! The Ducks have the ball! Down to the 35!
It's been what he calls a dream job.
Touchdown!
More than I ever could have dreamed for. More. I got to Oregon in '87. I'll go back to when I started in the radio. I never understood that you could have so much fun and make money. Now, I didn't make a lot of money when I started, and my wife reminds me of that. But it's many years it was more like a paid hobby.
His start in broadcasting came in high school in his hometown of Grants Pass. He started with behind-the-scenes jobs at KAGI, but didn't stop there.
And then when I graduated, they handed me a midday job. So I became a disc jockey in 1966, and I did that for most of my career.
Allen was always into sports and eventually got the chance to call games.
I was going to Southern Oregon College after I graduated from high school for a few years, and got to sign on their FM radio station. I got to be the first voice on KSOR, which was a dream come true. And I did some of the basketball games and football games for SOC.
He's seen a lot during his years behind the mic at Oregon sporting events. Some of the best memories come from football.
And then the '95 Rose Bowl, Jorgie and I went into the Rose Bowl booth, Penn State in one end, Oregon in the other, and we looked at each other and said, it'll never get any better than this. This is the pinnacle. We're at the Rose Bowl.
He tries to keep it simple during his broadcast, painting a picture for listeners.
So I always wanted to think of that grandparent or that mother or father who didn't play the game, didn't really understand all of that, and don't go into technicality so much that they lose what's going on with the games.
Allen finds it hard to take in that he's being honored with the Bill Schonely Lifetime Achievement Award.
It's a broadcast team, so when they said you're going to get this award, I was like, well, it's not just me, it's everybody who's helped me. So it was like, Bill Schonely? I mean, I idolize Bill Schonely.
After each game he calls, Allen hopes he leaves his listeners with something special.
I always wanted people to be happy. I want them to leave a broadcast saying they enjoyed it. Even if it was a loss, they found something good about it.
Can you believe the magical season this has become? Unbelievable to have been a part of this.
Congrats to Jerry and his entire team behind the scene. That's it for this year's Sports Hall of Fame special. Again, my name is Orlando, and you can catch me every Sunday for Sports Sunday right here on KGW. Thank you so much for watching.